All right, let's talk about pins, whether to have a horizontal sight or your pins are vertical, okay? And it kind of comes down to how you aim and how your brain and body reacts to the process while you're aiming. So, for instance, if you're one of those people that has a tendency to dip low and you got a vertical pin, and that's just pointing straight up, right? And you're dipping low, you may want to try out a horizontal, because while you're aiming, your pin ends up covering the dot of what you're aiming at, and your brain wants to look at it again and be like, okay, that's where we're aiming, let's put the pin there. And then you float off again, and then you put the pin there. And so if you're, if you got vertical pin and you're dipping low to see the center of that dot, you may want to try a horizontal pin setup, okay? And then vice versa. So if you have a tendency to, pull away from the dot, left or right, you may want to try a vertical pin, and that might help and eliminate you pulling away from that dot, getting a look at your target, and then moving your pin right back to it. Okay, so that might help, especially for people that tend to lock on like the left or right side of that dot because your brain wants to see it and you just can't quite hold it on there. Try a different pin layout. And then for target shooters, we have, depending on the scope that you get, there are several different spots that you can put your pin at, right? You got 12, 9, 6, 3, and in between, okay? And so for myself and my experience, that if I have an up pin, I tend to dip low because I want to look at that dot, and that's how my brain and body responds to it, is it just pulls the scope down. There we are, and then I raise the scope back up. So to help eliminate that, I put my pin over here, I guess you'd say 130 position. And so since I put my pin there, I can see the top of the dot, I can see the bottom of the dot, I can see the left and the right of the dot, okay? And so I don't care if I can't see the 1 o'clock position, it does not faze me. That setup happens to work well for me. So there's a couple of different things that you want to experiment with when it comes to your sights and what you want to use for hunting or for target shooting, and experiment with them. Try them out, because you may find a better style that's going to help you succeed and make better shots.